We'll get straight to it. So the first thing I want to ask you about is Billy Joe Saunders. I heard a rumour that he was at the Ingle gym a few months back. I heard a rumour that you guys were out in Spain, but obviously recent social media posts have shown him at Tony Sims's gym, and up until last week he was back with Ben Davison. So can you tell us what's going on?
Well, obviously, as you know, Billy's nutritionist, Greg Marriott, is based in Sheffield, and I think he contacted Greg saying, I need to get back on it, and I've been offered a fight for this year, around about December, I think he said. I think Greg laid it out to him what he needed to do, and you know, he has been here, there and everywhere, and he came to Sheffield for a week or two. I was away at the time in Spain. He just did a little bit of training in the gym, and I think he touched base with a few people. I spoke to him. I think he had to have a minor operation on a hernia sorted out. He's done that, and I think he's just breaking back into his training steadily. And you know, I've not said to him, he come back to train with me. You know, Billy will find what works for him, make his own mind up. But like I've always said with Billy, he's always been welcome to come back in his gym whenever he wants to, and he has done. And it's, you know, where he's at, he's got the money, he's had the big fights. You have to question what his motivation is to actually have another fight. You know, I mean, I know he was massively overweight, and you know, it's no good having all that money if you're not going to be around to spend it. So I think first and foremost on his mind was to get himself in shape, and he seems to be doing that. He's getting into a gym what's close by. He's obviously got his kids and other factors. And you know, when he gets more serious towards a fight date, maybe he'll come here, maybe he'll pick somebody else. I don't know, but you know, it's a big ask now to bring Billy back. It's you know, it's going to not just require a lot of work from him. You know, a lot of work from him. It's going to require a lot of work from the people around him, and you've got to have like-minded souls. You can't be, you know, training a fighter like Billy Joe Saunders and not having a disciplined life yourself, because it takes a lot of work. You've got to be on him, you know, all the time. So you know, he's still finding his feet. I think it was a big loss and a lot of damage inflicted in that fight, and psychologically it takes a lot of time to get over it. And I think he's in that place now where he's kind of got over it mentally. But the biggest challenge is for him physically. And you know, nobody likes to diet, especially when you like eating food and you love your food and you like to be out and about. So it's just switching on to that, and you know, I believe he's in contact with Greg, and they're working out some kind of plan, and we'll take it from there.
I know Greg was, you know, he kind of started off the whole Tyson Fury comeback as well. He did Tyson's diet. So do you think Billy could do something Tyson Fury-esque and do a similar sort of comeback? You know, weight-wise, are you able to say what kind of weight he's at the moment as well? I
have no idea what, you know, weight he was. I know he was at least, you know, maybe 2.5 stone over his fighting weight. But he said to with fitness as well. You know, you've got to think about the motivation. Tyson did it, and you know, Greg kick-started that process with Tyson Fury. I can remember when he was dealing with Tyson, and he put him on that kind of road, and Tyson looked in fantastic shape when he did. You know, Greg gave him the kickstart and the information, and you know, Greg knows what he's doing. So I think Billy's always going to work with Greg because he knows that what Greg does works. So I think, you know, Billy's got to get all the stars aligned, the people in place, so he knows can, you know, get him where he needs to be. But first and foremost, Billy needs to be able to switch on and realise, you know, I want to fight again. That's got to be the motivating factor above all else. And wherever he does that, it's down to Billy, wherever he feels, you know, suited. And we all kind of seem to pick the most comfortable places, but you've got to go to a hard place, you know, to change things. Change is never easy. You know, change is never easy. So, you know, Billy's got to have a good think about where he wants to be, what he wants to do in life, or his boxing life, and switch himself on.
Obviously, just to clarify as well, because you get a lot of people mentioning, saying, he's not being loyal because he's been with Dom and he's with Ben, and he's training at Tony Sims's gym. Can I just clarify, because obviously I know from speaking to you that you've got like an open relationship, you've got a good friendship outside boxing, so he's kind of welcome. You're kind of guided by him, aren't you? Is it right in saying that?
The thing with Billy Joe Saunders is that he came to me as an already established fighter, so I'd never really done any work on Billy. He came, you know, from a good amateur pedigree. He had a contract with Frank Warren. He was doing good with Jimmy Tibbs, and then he needed a change. So it's not like I had to spend years and years on him like I did with Kid Galahad or Kell Brook. So you know, they come into your life and into your gym and you train them, and they come and they go, and you accept that because that's how it is. It's a little bit different with Kell Brook and Kid Galahad because you're spending, you know, a lot of years with them. It's making lots of sacrifices so they can get where they need to be. And some fighters like Johnny Nelson, Junior Witter, Kid Galahad stayed loyal all the way through. Kell Brook had a couple of slips and went somewhere else. But Kell, I like to liken Kell as the prodigal son. You know, eventually, you know, whether he realised his mistakes or not, he came back after getting beat by Crawford in a terrible fashion, really. Against Amir Khan, who a lot of people thought Khan was going to beat him, and they always thought he was going to beat him. And it was going to be a rubbish fight, but it was a terrific night. You were there, I was there, and I think even we had a discussion that you actually thought Khan would beat Kell. Am I right or not?
A younger Khan.
Yeah.
But at that stage, I felt like it was more of a 50-50 type fight.
I think we had that discussion. And you said, yeah, as a younger Khan, and I said, I believe that no matter what stage Kell Brook boxed him at, he would beat Khan, but it just depends how he would have beat him. It would have been a harder fight when Khan was younger, but I always think Kell Brook would have beat him. And when they finally did box, you know, Kell did the business. So you get vindicated in that sense. And I do believe if Kell Brook had approached the Crawford fight differently, he would have beat Crawford. People saying absolutely no chance, but I believe he would have done. So that's the kind of thing you have to look at. So Kell Brook's been, Kell Brook was in the other day doing a bit of training. He's been here since he was 10 years old. He's 36. It's a long time. You know, he's been a decent relationship with Kell all the way through. He's a kind of one-off. So it's always going to be that way. But it's a bit different with fighters like the Liam Williamses and the Billy Joe Saunders and Jason Quigley's and Robbie Davis Jr. All these fighters who've come to me already kind of established. You've got to look at it in a different way. If they go somewhere else, you have to accept that, just like they came to me from somewhere else. You know, it's not like I've spent years and years of my life trying to develop them. They kind of come off ready-made. And it was me kind of putting the finishing touches on. With Liam Williams, he came to me after the losses after Liam Smith. And he had a very, very good run for 3 years, made some money, had some great fights, entertained everybody's talking about him. Billy came from, having a scrappy fight in a leisure centre in Scotland and putting some great performances under me. But, it's where the fighter where he feels comfortable. So we'll see, it's only time will tell.
And I thought I was going to ask about Barry next, but seeing as you just touched on Kell, I spoke to Eddie in a couple of days ago. He said something about Kell Brook against one of the Charlo brothers, and people are still suspecting he could make a comeback and fight Conor Benn. To your knowledge, is Kell Brook ever likely to come back?
Listen, who knows from one day to the next? It's Kell's always struggling with those decisions anyway. I think sometimes when you give yourself the relief of I'm never going to box again, and then you kind of relax into that and you think, oh, what else am I going to do? So you kind of get the bit between your teeth again, and he's been a few times. And I said to Kell when he boxed Khan, look, for me, the only fight I'd ever be interested in training Kell for would be Conor Benn. That's a good fight. It's like an up-and-coming kid against somebody who's been really well established. I don't think Kell fighting any of the Charlos or whatever, or any other fight, at Kell's age, where he's at, his past history and everything else, I don't think any other fight makes sense for him. So, I'd only be interested in, and I think I would only train him for the Conor Benn fight, because I think that's a fight it's a evenly matched fight in many senses, that Conor Benn's coming through, he's younger, he needs to fight a big name. Kell Brook's coming to the end of his career, still got something left. So it kind of balances out. I think going against the Charlos, over in America, the live wires anyway, they're younger than Kell. It's a fight that Kell could have probably done at 28, 29, 30. It's not a fight I suggest for him at this age, because he's on the back end of his career. The speed's declining, the reflexes are declining against guys who are probably at the peak. So it's not like Kell, at the peak, let him fight at the peak, but Kell's not at his peak anymore, but he's still got enough to beat the likes of Conor Benn. Or maybe he hasn't, but that's the gamble Conor Benn and his camp and his promoter have to take if it ever was going to materialise.
Sound. And then sticking with your stable, Kid Galahad, obviously there was rumours or suggestions that he could try and get the Maxi Hughes fight. Obviously that doesn't appear to have materialised. And I think you said he might be moving up to lightweight as well. So is he still moving up to lightweight? And what is the latest with Barry?
Yeah, he's moving up to lightweight, and I think the fight has been put to Maxi Hughes and his team. And I'm just thinking that they're just playing with the idea at the minute. We should know in the next couple of weeks, and we're waiting on Eddie and Matchroom to say one way or another. I think Maxi Hughes was hanging out for a bigger fight, which doesn't seem to have materialised. So I suppose the more suitable option is to fight, Kid Galahad, who's come from a bad knockout, coming up weights. That's another fight what's quite interesting. Maxi Hughes boxed out of his skin when he won the title, and he kind of seems to have a resurgence of his career and doing really well under Josh Warrington's dad. So it's an interesting fight. It might be a fight that fans want to see, because I don't think Maxi Hughes is a big enough attraction for anything else. The other names in the division. So we'll just wait for that one, I think.
Is Barry likely to feature on August the 6th card in Sheffield?
No, definitely not. That's like a next gen kind of show. I think it's just that's for Dalton Smith and Samo Mason to knock that one out, and everybody else not Kid Galahad. So I think we're looking maybe sometime in September.